Hello, this is Eliana. Welcome to the Easy Happy English podcast. In this show, we are going to read and dissect English novels together, every time we open a new book. I am going to guide you through the character settings and the environment, uncover the crucial lessons we can learn, break down the core message the author is trying to convey, and draw out actionable insights for our own lives. And to make sure you never lose the plot, I will provide a chapter-by-chapter summary of the entire story. Today, we are unlocking Louis Sachar's brilliant masterpiece, Holes. The author's message in Holes is profound. Our past shapes us, but it does not have to trap us. Sachar intricately connects multi-generational histories to show that justice and destiny are deeply intertwined. The key insight you will get from this novel is the power of resilience and genuine friendship. When you take responsibility for others, you often end up saving yourself. To help you digest this incredible story, I have broken down the chapter summaries into pairs. Let's dive straight into the dry, unforgiving dirt of Camp Green Lake. Chapter summaries, grouped by twos. Chapters 1 and 2. The Wasteland. We are introduced to Camp Green Lake, a juvenile detention center in Texas where there is no lake and nothing is green. The setting is a brutal desert. We meet Stanley Yelnats, an overweight, innocent boy who was sent here by mistake. Chapters 3 and 4, The Curse and the Arrival. On the grueling bus ride to camp, we learn about Stanley's family curse, blamed on his no-good, dirty, rotten, pig-stealing great-great-grandfather. Stanley arrives, meets the tough, sunflower seed-eating Mr. Sir, and is given 2 orange jumpsuits. Chapters 5 and 6, The Rules of the Game. Stanley meets his counselor, Mr. Pendansky, and the other boys in Tent D, who all go by nicknames like X-Ray, Squid, and Zero. We learn Stanley's crime. He was convicted of stealing a famous baseball player's charity auction sneakers. Chapters 7 and 8, Digging the First Hole. The brutal physical labor begins. Every boy must dig a hole 5 feet deep and 5 feet wide every single day. We get a flashback to Latvia, where Stanley's ancestor, Ilya Yelnats, broke a promise to Madame Zeroni, originating the family curse. We also learn about the deadly yellow-spotted lizards, chapters 9 and 10. Caveman and the Fossil. Stanley finishes his first hole, his hands torn and bleeding. He earns the respect of the boys and the nickname Caveman. While digging his second hole, he finds a fossilized fish, but the counselors dismiss it. Chapters 11 and 12, The Hierarchy X-Ray. The unspoken leader of the boys demands that if Stanley finds anything else, he must give it to him. Stanley agrees, realizing that surviving the camp means understanding the social power dynamics. Chapters 3 and 14, The Gold Tube. Stanley finds a small, gold tube engraved with the initials KB. Honoring the hierarchy, he gives it to X-Ray the next morning. X-Ray claims the discovery, and for the first time, the terrifying red-haired warden appears, thrilled by the find. Chapters 15 and 16, The Warden Takes Over. The warden orders the boys to dig in a frantic, organized grid to find more treasure. Stanley realizes they aren't digging to build character. They are looking for something specific. Later, Zero helps Stanley by digging part of his hole. Chapters 17 and 18, The Trade. Stanley gets struck in the head by Zigzag's shovel, a harsh reminder of the danger they are in. Zero, who reveals he doesn't know how to read, asks Stanley to teach him. Chapters 19 and 20. The sunflower seeds magnet steals Mr. Sir's sunflower seeds, but Stanley takes the blame. He is taken to the warden's cabin, where she paints her nails with rattlesnake venom and strikes Mr. Sir across the face, showing her absolute, ruthless dominance. Chapters 21 and 22. The Arrangement. Stanley returns to find his hole finished by Zero. They officially strike a deal. Stanley will teach Zero the alphabet and reading, and Zero will dig part of Stanley's hole each day to save his energy. Chapters 23 and 24. Green Lake. 110 years ago, the narrative flashes back a century. Green Lake was once a beautiful town with a sparkling lake. We meet Catherine Barlow, the beloved schoolteacher, and Charles Trout Walker, an arrogant rich man she rejects. In the present, Mr. Sir's face is terribly swollen from the venom. Chapters 25 and 26. The Tragedy of Sam. We learn about Sam, a black onion farmer whose remedies cure everything. Catherine and Sam fall in love and kiss. Because of the deep racism of the time, the town burns down the schoolhouse and murders Sam. Catherine's heart breaks, turning her into the deadly outlaw. Kissin' Kate Barlow. Chapters 27 and 28. Hector Zeroni. Back in the present, Stanley realizes Zero's real name is Hector Zeroni, connecting him to Madame Zeroni. We also learn that Kate Barlow robbed Stanley's great-grandfather of his fortune and buried it in the dried-up lake. Chapters 29 and 30. The Breaking Point. During a thunderstorm, Stanley sees a mountain shaped like a thumb, God's thumb. The counselors notice Zero digging Stanley's hole and mock Zero's intelligence. A fight breaks out. Zero hits Mr. Pendanski with a shovel and escapes into the deadly desert. Chapters 31 and 32. The Escape. The warden orders Zero's records erased, assuming he will die in the desert. Consumed by guilt, Stanley steals Mr. Sir's water truck, drives it into a hole, and takes off running into the wasteland to find his friend. Chapters 33 and 34. Sploosh Stanley finds a wrecked boat named Mary Lou, Sam's old boat, and discovers Zero hiding underneath it. Zero has survived by drinking sploosh, fermented, century-old spiced peaches left behind by Kate Barlow. Chapters 35 and 36. The Climb. Zero is incredibly sick from the old peaches. Knowing they will die in the desert, Stanley points them toward God's thumb. The trek is agonizing, and they must scale a steep, brutal cliff face. Chapters 37 and 38. Breaking the Curse. Zero collapses. In a moment of pure strength and selflessness, Stanley physically carries Zero up the mountain. They reach the top, finding a muddy spring and a field of wild onions. By carrying a Zeroni up a mountain, Stanley unknowingly breaks his family's century-old curse. Chapters 39 and 40. Confessions on the Mountain. The boys recover by drinking muddy water and eating onions. High on the mountain, Zero confesses the truth. He was the one who actually stole Clyde Livingston's sneakers from the shelter, the crime Stanley was punished for. Chapters 41 and 42. The Master Plan Zero shares stories of his heartbreaking childhood as a homeless orphan. Stanley feels a deep sense of happiness and purpose for the first time in his life. They decide to sneak back to camp to dig up Kate Barlow's buried treasure. Chapters 43 and 44. The Return and the Trap. Under the cover of night, they sneak back to the hole where Stanley found the gold tube. They unearth a heavy suitcase, but a flashlight beam hits them. The warden, Mr. Sir, and Mr. Pendanski have caught them. Chapters 45 and 46. The Lizards. A nest of deadly yellow-spotted lizards crawls all over Stanley and Zero. The warden waits for them to be bitten and die so she can take the suitcase. However, the boys survive the night. The lizards refuse to bite them because they have been eating onions, which the lizards despise. Chapters 47 and 48. Checkmate morning arrives, and so does Stanley's lawyer, Ms. Marengo. The warden tries to claim the suitcase, but Zero points out that the name Stanley Yelnats is clearly printed on it. It is Stanley's great-grandfather's stolen treasure. Chapters 49 and 50. Justice served. Stanley refuses to leave without Zero. Ms. Marengo demands Zero's file, which the camp had illegally erased, so they take Zero too. The camp is shut down to become a Girl Scout retreat. The suitcase contains millions in stock certificates, securing both boys' futures. Stanley's father invents a cure for foot odor using peaches and onions, and Zero is finally reunited with his missing mother. And that is the complete journey of Holes. It's a masterclass in storytelling, proving that every single detail matters. Keep reading, keep pushing forward, and I'll see you in the next episode.